This is Talk It Over, the only dating relationship podcast that begins in bed. Make the time to subscribe. Now let's pull back those sheets.
Can we talk about the relationships? Can we talk it over, see how we can build? Only you and I know that's the way it goes. In this big old bed, they talk it over, so talk it over. Can we talk it over? We can talk it over. Can we talk it over in bed? Talk it over. Can we talk it over? Can we talk it over? Oh, in bed.
All right, and we are back with the Talk It Over, breaking it down. How comfortable are you with being alone? Part 2, and so far, I mean, part 1 was dope. It was very, very heavy on the introspective side, on the benefits.
Well, let's
of
remind
being alone.
everybody who's just tuning in what we're talking about today.
Go ahead.
All right, so today we're talking about being alone. Like, how comfortable are you with being alone and just aloneness in general? Like, I think so far, and sorry, Olin, I feel like I just cut you off, but
No.
we good. Anyhow, so, you know, a lot of us have definitely said that, you know, it's critical to take that time to yourself when exiting a relationship to get to learn yourself, learn, you know, what you're willing to tolerate, don't want to tolerate, reflect back on the relationship and what happened, what went wrong. You know, one thing we really haven't talked about is the role that you played in what went wrong. You know, there's a lot of that goes into breakups. You know, if you have to have that introspective.
What? It was me? Nah, it wasn't me.
Olin, I believe it was you. Every single time I'm gonna say it was you.
It can't be me. Can't be me.
It was Olin. When push comes to shove, it was Olin. At the end. No, but you know, you have to do that introspective work to find out what role you played in the demise of the relationship. And I think when you do that, it gives you newfound insight as to the person that you are and the person that you're bringing to a relationship. So does anyone really want to touch base on that topic before? Because I got a new question for y'all. No, I think we could.
What you did wrong? What you did wrong?
I'm perfect.
No. As myself.
You know, Trish does no wrong because she's not there to do any wrong. She just ghosts. She's out. You know.
I be in Aruba.
I wouldn't say I did anything wrong. I would say I could have done things better. So I guess listening would be something I could have done better. Maybe communicating or maybe taking the initiative to maybe do something. I will admit that. You know,
so going into this new relationship, that's one of the things that you're cognizant of now.
Oh yes, very cognizant of.
Okay.
Very cognizant of. You know, I'm like, no, don't touch that. I got it. Like, you know, that's me now. You know, so that's something that I've learned about my not my flaws, because you know I'm still perfect, but I could do better.
Got it. You know, us perfect people, we got to stick together, bruh.
Right. I appreciate that.
All right, Quamaine, I see you over there unmuting yourself. What's up?
No, I was saying the old saying goes, admitting is the first step.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we take that, what's the word I'm looking for? They take accountability for our actions. You know, that's where the change starts, and be like, damn, yo, I was really like this. Oh, now I got to change that. You know, because we want to treat people how we want to be treated. Absolutely. So it's important that we, that we do them things, take them steps to understand where we went wrong.
Absolutely. And you know, I saw really quickly, I saw Hassan jump on real quick. Looked like he had a young lady with him. So Hassan, you there? He's not alone today.
So you're not alone.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Hi. Are you gonna introduce your guest?
Yes, I am. This is my old friend Deborah right here.
Hi, Deborah.
Hi, everyone.
And we're kind of mobile, moving around. We're hanging out in Marcus Garvey Park right now.
Okay.
We try to get some quiet. We were on 125th Street and it was just too live out there. So we walked over here. So yeah, just kind of tuning in and out right now. But yeah, the subject matter is interesting, being alone, because, I've often hated being alone, by myself, and but that's the most natural state to be in, because we all are born alone. We're gonna die alone. You know what I mean? And often it's like we have distractions to get us outside of ourselves, so we're not alone. And we use other people as like this buffer between us and ourselves. So it often, is an interference when we're not alone. So being alone can be real healthy and healing. What do you think, Deb?
I think the same thing as well. Yeah, the distractions, they come and they come very hard. So when you're trying to focus on yourself, at times when you're in a relationship, you have to focus on the other person and basically die to your own self and your own needs. So when you decide to be alone, it's very freeing, and a happy place.
Indeed.
Okay.
Has anybody established a kind of a timeline? Has anybody, real quick, just by, I think we can do this real fast. That have to be a big discussion. Like how long is alone tolerable, right? So just for everybody, like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 2 years, 3 years, like how long is alone tolerable? I just want to get a poll real quick from everybody.
I say 6 months.
6 months. All right, Naemmy?
It depends.
Oh, Naemmy, come on. Just quick off the top. Quick off the top. How long, if you were alone tomorrow, how long?
I say like at least a year.
Okay. All right. Antonio?
I'm with Naemmy. I think about a year.
A year. Bree, you still with us?
Yep, I agree. I definitely say a year too.
And a trip to Vegas, right?
And
Quamaine. Quamaine, I want to get Quamaine back in here. Real quick, just what are you personally, what would you say would be your limit?
I say about 6 months to about a year and a half, 2 years.
6 months and a year and a half. Man, y'all make me feel bad. 2 years at most.
2 years at most.
I feel like I got some alone time to catch up on. Jesus. Like, good God.
Olin, what about you? You didn't say how long.
Well, right. Hassan, real quick before I'm gonna deflect.
Okay. Yeah, for me,
you know I don't forget.
I've actually been single for a long time, 5 years. Actually.
5 years. Okay. Okay.
5 years.
But in that 5 years, have you been completely alone in that 5 years, or have you?
I mean, I've dated, but I haven't been in any real relationships. I mean, I had some conjugal associations.
So is that really alone, right?
Yeah,
that's not alone. Well, in the context,
that was without investment. There was no emotional investment. It was just physical investment.
Okay,
right,
so
right.
I have a question. Yes. We're gonna talk about this being alone without when you have needs. Like so this was one of and this was one of the questions I wanted to actually bring in. So this is perfectly. How do you handle being alone when you have needs? And we are all human, we are all adults, we are all grown adults with kids. So we got needs. Like, are we just ignoring that? Like, what are you doing in that time period? Are you entertaining people just to sequester whatever, that need is that you have at the moment? Or are we just like, nope, I'm gonna ignore it, or I'm gonna handle it on my own and keep it moving? Like, what are we doing?
It can actually be both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It could be actually both. I mean, yeah, it's been an extensive amount of time, that I've gone without physical interaction with someone else. Yeah, I have done that for some time, but within 5 years, I've done both. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have no problem taking care of my own needs. It can happen in like 30 seconds or 2 minutes. You know what I mean? And then I can be on to the next thing. It doesn't take long at all. It's real quick because I know me. So it's like, bam, okay, good. I'm out.
Bree, what
the best and safest option is to handle it on your own. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I was just gonna say, ladies, we live in a century where they make toys to replicate everything for us. Okay, so we
replicate things that don't even exist.
Exactly.
Replicate things that no human being can even match up to.
You know, so within that year of getting to know yourself,
Yeah,
get
you
to
better
know
set yourself up.
yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna set this.
Yeah,
You're gonna be looking for droids, and then you be looking for. You're like, oh, none of these men out here meet the standard. Wait, let me go build one. Let me go build a man. Let me go over here and see what's happening in
He
the
said
tech.
build a man like a
Tech
builder
word.
bear.
Yeah, no,
Right.
Exactly.
Year,
It's a store in the mall for that. Like,
That's where y'all
I
headed with them
tell men
toys.
all the time. They say they like, oh well, you haven't had anyone to listen. They have a toy to replicate each and every one of y'all. So I don't need y'all for the organ purposes. You have to bring something else to the table because I got it.
See, they're trying to get rid of us.
It
Aren't you
definitely
late for
like
Vegas?
Listen, she right on time for Vegas.
Coming to Vegas because if they don't act right in Vegas, I need to be set up. All right.
Oh, there's no acting right in Vegas. You can't go to Vegas with expectations for anybody to act right. What's wrong with you?
I mean,
you already setting yourself up. You
if
can't.
they're not meeting the standards, like you know, we get a little excited. If I don't get excited for anyone, I got my little boo boo at home waiting for me.
All right.
So I have another question. Are we now we've done all this work. We're talking about doing this work and we're talking about getting to know self. At some point in time, can you have done too much work? And Naemmy, excuse me, you're a healthcare professional, right?
I'm a trauma therapist.
You're a trauma therapist. I'm going to ask you this question. At some point in time, could you have done too much work and actually like really almost hurt yourself in the process because now your expectations are way too high?
Yeah, they're unrealistic.
They're unrealistic.
You're looking for the golden child.
I mean, if you do go into a relationship with a high expectation or even dating with a high expectation, then you're kind of in the end, it's not going to work out too well for this one reason is because we're all human and we're not all perfect. So you might have like an individual that might show you like face to face like some of your expectation, but once you date them or you end up being in a relationship with them, there might be certain things that you might not like. They're like, okay, check. Oh, it's not on my list. I'm gonna end it. Like I'm gonna end it. That's it.
Too strict.
So it. At the end of the day, we're not all perfect human beings. It's just trying to find out within yourself, like, hey, what are the things that are the most important? Whether it's someone that's gonna respect me, that's gonna value me, and is gonna be there that when I'm sick or I'm dealing with something. So it depends on each individual. Like, what are the main things that they want in their relationship?
Right. I agree. I feel like if you're doing the work and realizing that you're not perfect as a human, then you have to understand that whoever you meet isn't going to be perfect either, you know? So having that balance is like, okay, this is what I can tolerate. That's not computing
with Trish at all. She's like, what? I said, that's not computing with Trish at all. She's like, I expect perfection. I expect perfection because I am perfection. All right.
Y'all get me. Y'all understand.
I think though it's important to look at if the person is equally doing the work for themselves, like you are, you know, like, so if you're, you know, constantly trying to push yourself to be better and to aim for your idea of perfection, then hopefully that person is also pushing for themselves to be better in their idea of whatever their perfection looks like, you know?
Yeah. I mean, what I'm hearing is a lot of, you know, alone helps provide for self-evolvement, right? Evolution. The only thing that I could say would be an unforeseen negative impact of that is sometimes you evolve beyond the pool of suitors and so it takes a while. It can take some time to find that person you're looking for because you've grown so much that you've outpaced people in your peer group, all right? And sometimes that's why, I mean, I know in this society it's seen as taboo, but that's why you see like young women with older men or vice versa, older or young men with older women, because what they're looking for in their peer group is just too hard to find because they self-evolved beyond what the other people are doing. So, you know, like 18, 20s, we all looking to, you know, hook up in the club, go to the club. With 30s, 40s, nobody's really going to the club like that anymore. We're not looking for the club. But if you're 20 with that mentality, that like I'm not looking for the club, all your peers are in the club. So and that's not where you're at. You know, that's not where you're at. So you're maybe taking trips, going to Vegas, going to Aruba, and you know, people like that. It might be a little bit harder to find your peer group. You're gonna have to find a little, you know. That's just my thought. But Naemmy, what would you want?
And then Deborah after. Go ahead. No, I said Naemmy and then Deborah.
So there's one thing that I used to say to myself, and I think my mom used to say it to us too as we were growing up, is that when you fall in love with someone, fall for their imperfections, not their perfection. Meaning what she was trying to say from that is like, you have to ask yourself, what flaws are you willing to deal with if you're gonna end up in a relationship with someone for the rest of your life? So like if you have certain, like, I mean, this might not work with everyone, but I know with me, like I had certain things that I wanted in my partner, but then in wanting those certain things, I had to look at his imperfections, say, am I willing to deal with these imperfections if we're gonna be together for forever in a marriage? So I had to look at like both of them and see like what could I take and not take.
That's powerful. All right, and you said Trish, you said Deb
yeah.
Okay.
Deborah and Hassan, we want to go back over to you guys.
I just wanted to just add that you have to be willing to accept people how they are and for who they are when you do decide to get into a relationship, and support them where they are. You know, you can't just put unrealistic expectations on people. And it has to be, you both have to have the same mindset in order for the relationship to work. As soon as you go off one doing something more than the other, then that's when you're gonna have that tug of war type of thing going on. It's real important that, you know, you accept people how they are and for who they are, and don't try to change them. You know, they will change and evolve on their own. I believe that when you make a plan together, that you create your own plan, your own relationship goals and plans, and not look outside of yourselves, because a lot of times that, you know, gives you a false narrative. So that's my input on it.
Two powerful statements back to back.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So again, if for anyone just tuning in, we are here talking about being alone and how comfortable with you are being alone. And truthfully, coming out of a pandemic, we've all pretty much been alone for the last year and some change. Most of us have, at least. And I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Like, how did being in the pandemic and being forced to be alone, even if it was for the first 6 months or before they opened outside back up, how did that work for most of you, being alone in the pandemic?
Being alone was really hard at first with the pandemic for me personally. I mean, you know, I actually was going through some real low emotional points in my life, and there was no one to lean on, you know, no one to confide in. You know, it was tough. It was like no one was available because everybody was in a state of panic. So yeah, you know, I was forced to really, you know, come to terms with some other deep aspects of myself. So, you know, coming out of it, it's like there's like a new freedom with me becoming reacquainted with myself and discovering new things about myself that I didn't know. So, you know, being alone part is cool. You know what I mean? I'm okay with it right now.
Okay. All
with
right.
myself, I worked during the pandemic. I worked for a medical manufacturer, so we never closed. And I also have a 19-year-old daughter at home. So, you know, we were there together. Being that I was going out every day, it didn't affect me the same way. I wanted some downtime, actually. I wanted to be able to experience what some other people, friends, coworkers were experiencing from working from home, but we never had that opportunity. So I basically have, you know, I was just out here. I got to see the city and the world very quiet. And it put me in a quiet place too. I'm very spiritual. So it allowed me to seek God more and listen for his voice. So that's what it did for me.
So for me, what it sounds like is that you experienced the alone time differently because you were out in the world in a city that's usually going and hustling and bustling. And it was just like, it stopped, like everything stopped. So your alone time might not have been at home, but you experienced it out in the world by yourself.
Yes. Like I was able to take a selfie in the middle of Times Square with no traffic. That to me was amazing ever. So yeah, that's what I experienced.
The little things, that's great.
Briana, I want to bring you in there because you're real quiet, boo.
I'm here. Honestly, during the quarantine, I was just like, during this whole pandemic, I've just been focusing on myself. This is when I really had the time to do the work for me. So it's just been me, myself, and I. And it's been amazing, honestly. Like, it's been amazing. It's really forced me to take the time to be by myself, especially because no one's really able to come around. You know, everyone wants to stay home, and cool, that's fine with me. Again, don't get me wrong. There were moments when I was lonely and I was sad and I was like, man, I hate this feeling. But after a while, I was like, okay, I like this. Like, I like coming home to no stress and just calm, peace, getting to know me, you know? So I was very appreciative of the pandemic and it forcing me to just do the work. Cause I feel like minus the pandemic, I would have been wanted, you know, to go out and explore and get to know. And I wouldn't have taken that time to get to know me the way I was forced to. So I'm very appreciative of it.
Is that everybody?
No.
We didn't hear me.
Well, for me, I was in a situation where I was forced to be alone, and this was maybe 2-3 weeks before the pandemic started.
You got a head start.
So yeah, I was good. So when the pandemic happened, it was like everybody come join me. So yeah, it wasn't hard for me at all. It was just, you know, something I was already used to at that point.
Got it. Naemmy?
I feel like it's a mixed.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of mixed because it's like before the pandemic, like I felt like I was alone because, you know, me and my husband had different work schedules. So I did have like some alone time. But then like after the pandemic, it's like we saw each other more. So it gave a chance for us to even be closer in our relationship with each other because of the fact that we have more time with each other during the pandemic. But I felt like I also had some alone time because like I had to work throughout the whole pandemic, the whole, I think even till now, and I have like 3 jobs, so like it kind of like kept me busy and doing so many things. But I felt like in some part I did have a little bit of alone time, but now it's like I don't really have a lot because of so many things going on. But so I feel like it was like just a mix of things.
Got it. And let's toss it back over to Quamaine before I put my little 2 cents in, and then Olin.
Yeah, it gave me a chance to slow down. It wasn't really hard. You know, I was already on my time. Like, I need to be by myself right now. So it wasn't a hard thing to do. Around that time, I started reading my Bible a bit more. Something I always planned to do, so I had no distractions at all. You know, even down to reading to my kids and just, you know, it was mostly us. So with them, I had them around, but as far as like companionship and having other people, yeah, it was good. It was good.
So I will say this, I'm a social butterfly, and I think most of y'all know that. I'm always traveling, always on the road. When they told me I had to sit still and be by myself, I went crazy in this house. I was like, y'all gotta let me outside soon. I ain't even gonna lie.
The wall started closing in.
Listen, the wall, it was like, ain't nobody here. It's just me and this 8-year-old. I think he was 8 at the time, my son. And I was like, listen, it's gonna be one of us. Somebody gonna be outside pretty soon. Like, I'd had enough. For me, I know I'm a person that needs human interaction. I need physical interaction with other people. So I actually really struggled during the pandemic, but also I did take time to myself to, you know, really get to know, what am I struggling with? What do I need to work on? You know, things like, I think most of us did. We did some self-reflection and all that good stuff, but I did not like it. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, did not want to be alone, did not want to be by myself, wanted human interaction, wanted to go out into the streets, wanted to travel, wanted to meet new people, even just friends and work and whatnot, my usual daily, grind. Mm-hmm. So I actually didn't do very well in the beginning of the pandemic. As it went on, I got better, and then they let me outside again. And I was just like, back to my regularly scheduled program. So I know if we had to go through this again and I had to do it completely by myself, I don't know that I would exactly fare well, because I'm a person that needs human interaction. Whether it's in a relationship or friendship, I need human interaction.
All right. Well, I'll say this and then we'll go ahead and close out. I think I'm more akin to what you were saying, Trish, and everybody else. And I think it flipped for me in a weird way. I mean, obviously I wasn't alone because I'm a couple of weeks away from having a kid. Mm-hmm. So there was that. But my job got gouged. And so my social interaction just went completely nonstop. So I've always had a good balance of being able to have solitude and social interaction. And so now it's been too much solitude, and I have myself as my own company. And that's been driving me, a little bit too far. I was like, no, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of my headspace. I need to be able to interact so I don't have to overthink. So it started off okay, but then it started to implode in a sense. All right, because I didn't have an outlet. So that's where I'm kind of at with it right now.
All right. Well, I definitely think this conversation's been dope, y'all.
Real quick, Quamaine.
Oh,
appreciate you. Would you come back on and join us for another one, another and Deborah, since you got dragged in here as well. Quamaine, would you join us for another?
Oh yeah, podcast? For sure.
All right.
Yeah, I like this.
Nice.
Sure, I will.
All right. We gotta make sure everything is right and get all the paperwork done. So
and listen, we don't just do this on Sundays. We do this during the week too. The Love Corner comes on every Thursday. So if anybody wants to be a guest or just tune into the Love Corner, you're more than welcome to come and talk love, sex, and relationships to myself and Jen.
It's fun. I've been there. I would suggest y'all do it.
What
time on Thursdays?
Well, we record before Thursday, so just drop us a note and I'll let you know when.
Okay.
Yes, I would love to be on it.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So,
if Bree gets on, I gotta get on. I just want to be there. I gotta get on if Bree gets on.
I will send. Listen, if you didn't listen to last week, I'm telling y'all, go listen to last week. You're gonna be like, Tricia, it was good. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go to Instagram and listen.
I need an invite.
I got you. I'm gonna send out a calendar invite. If you could join, we would love for you to join. If you can't, we do it. I'll try to set the date so it's every single week at the same day, same time, so you guys can just pop in.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you all. Thank Anna Banana, K.I. from Bed-Stuy, Bumpy Johnson, sound producer, and thank everybody for being a part of this again. Amazing team, amazing cast. Thank you, Trish, as always. I look forward to crashing another Love Corner when y'all have Bree. So. All right.
Amazing.
You've been listening to Talk It Over, the only dating relationship podcast that begins in bed. We hope you got what you needed. Make sure you subscribe. Holla at you next week.